Hi everyone, comic book reviewer here. This time reviewing on another horror film, and this one is on Rings from 2017. Now, as you know, Rings was a 2017 supernatural horror film, which of course was meant to be based on elements of Spiral from Koji Susukaki, as well as kind of being more like a more updated reimagining and a different take of the Ringu series. And I think my best thoughts about Rings is that it's basically doing something new, something different, but of course has to kind of step away from being another American clone copycat, but does something interesting. So the premise of the film is meant to follow Julia, who slowly learns that her boyfriend Holt, as well as his college professor Gabriel, is part of this film conspiracy thing about a cursed videotape, and learning more about this mysterious figure. I give the film credit is that it's going with this whole Slenderman-ish style story, explaining about the tape, the curse behind it, and obviously explaining, like, if you had watched it, if you had seen it, had you seen that certain moment. And it does kind of remind me a bit like people talking about some films, or people talking about those sort of conspiracy theory videos, or people talking about mystical things. And I think it works in a way. And I think when we do see how Julia, as well as Holt, slowly learn more about the videotape and slowly learn about the woman in them, known as Samantha Morgan, I give them credit in changing the whole character's trope. Like, obviously, Samantha Morgan being more truths about her. There's obviously more truths about the sort of blind guy Callan Burke, and I give them credit in not painting Callan Burke too quickly under the mask. And there are hints and clues right away that Julia is slowly going to become something almost like Samantha Morgan. But I think what the film suffers from is obviously being a little too slow paced. And I think it's a shame they didn't really make Gabriel the villain, because it would have been interesting to him be this sort of guy launching the videotape, seeing the enjoyment of seeing people get tortured. It would have been interesting because, one, it actually would have showed how I think there's some people in real life who do these kind of videos to torture, mess, or make people's lives miserable. But I can also see where obviously it had to improve itself over The Ring 2, given the fact the film just felt like wasted potential and damaged what made Ringu 2 work. I think here Rings is taking a lot more creative liberties, and I think people gotta remember is that it is using similarities to previous films, just altering some things to improve it and doing its own take. And people gotta remember, sometimes doing jump scares and special effects is the whole point of doing a horror film. It's meant to keep you on your seat. It's meant to kind of make you suspect, to basically not be too predictable at the last moment. That's the whole point of jump scares. I think my best thoughts on Rings is that it's an okay film. It obviously knew what it needed to do, but it had to be something completely different. But I think it definitely deserves 2 thumbs ups. Well, not the best one. It is trying to step away from being another shot-for-shot remake. It obviously knows it has to be something completely different, and I don't think it deserves all the negatively, largely reviews that it was given. So, comic book reviewer here, signing out.